What is going on, people? Welcome back to another video. So I'm just going to quickly explain that this is actually an intro to an intro. This video was meant to be two separate videos, but in typical fashion on this channel, something went wrong with the second video, and then I didn't really want to delete it, so I thought I'd add it into the end of the first video. So you'll see part 2 of this video towards the end. So I'm going to crack straight on with the original video, and then right at the end of the video after part 2 I'll explain to you lot what happened and what went wrong with the GTI so that you lot can get a better understanding. So here goes nothing. What is going on, people? Welcome back to another video. We are so close to the day of the remap, and there are a few things that I recommend you lot do and that I'm going to do in this video to make sure that your car is 100% okay and healthy for the remap, to make sure that you keep it reliable and safe. So I'm going to run through a few things in this video. Let's get straight into it. So if you're worried that your car is going to be unreliable after you get it remapped, here's a few things I recommend you do just to make sure that the car is still healthy and reliable. Starting with an oil change. Now, oil changes are important, keeps the engine healthy, keeps it well lubricated obviously, and you should do them really every 6 months to 5,000 miles, just to be extra safe, especially if you've got a performance car and you're putting it at high revs constantly. I would actually do an oil change more often than they recommend. So I'm going to take it to work and I'm going to do an oil change. Alright guys, so I'm at work and the car is on the ramp. So first things first, let's pop the bonnet and let's take the oil filter cap off. Alright guys, so pretty simple stuff if you know about cars. There's the sump plug, take that out to drain the oil. And there's the oil filter, and that's all you need to take out, and all the oil will drain out, and then you can just top it up again. So just my luck guys, I've run into an issue. These are all of my sockets, and the biggest socket I've got is this one right here, which is a 34mm socket. And the problem is the oil filter is bigger than a 34, so my socket does not actually fit on there, as you can see. So I don't think I'll be able to change the oil filter today. It will have to be only the oil, and maybe I'll come back and do the oil filter on another day. Always talk to sump plug. So a lot of people keep asking me about things that I've already fitted on the car and how they're basically holding up and how, if they're in good condition still. So for example, the brakes, as you can see, there's the new brakes, the brake lines, everything's kind of fitted alright, everything looks like it's still working. Same on the other side. I think the thing I get asked about the most is definitely the decat. And as you can see, there's no leaks. I'll show you up to where it connects to the turbo. So yeah, for a £100 decat, that's still in good condition. Everything else underneath the car is absolutely fine. And moving on to the rear. Some people keep asking me about the suspension. As you can see, no issues with the suspension. So yeah, that was just a quick look underneath the car, and everything is alright there. So now that the oil is drained and the sump plug is back in, time to fill it up with some more oil. This car takes 4.6 litres of oil, so let's do it. Okay, so it's got 4.6 litres of oil. Let's start her up. We'll give that a couple seconds to run and then we'll cut the engine and we'll check the oil. Okay, so the oil level is all good. Now the second thing I wanted to do is something, I don't know if it's normal, I don't know if normal people do this, but obviously I have a remap performance intake on here and I've had it on there for about a year now, and I assume that over the year's time, from all the air it's sucking in, it's probably picked up a lot of dirt. So I assume the whole outside of the filter is all filthy. I don't know if normal people do this, but I want to give it a good clean just before the remap, so it's at its best performance, and then I can get better figures from the remap as well. So I'm going to take it out, I'm going to try and clean it to the best of my ability, and then we're going to whack it back in. Let's do it. So I have the remap filter in my hand right now, and just to give you an idea of what I mean, as you can see with some better lighting, just how much dirt is picked up, and that's just on the plastic, so I can only imagine how much is actually on the foam bit. So I'm going to try my best to try and clean this out. So this is the setup I'm using to do this. I have my tire pressure gauge here, which lets out a shitload of compressed air at high pressure. I have the air filter here pushed up against this fan thing, I don't know what the hell it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to stick that inside like that. I'm going to put loads of air through it, and then hopefully it pushes a lot of the dirt out. Let's try it. So there it is, guys. I don't know if the camera picked it up, but a fair bit of dust did actually come off of the air filter. I don't know if it's going to make any difference to the performance of the remap, but it sits right with me, so I can sleep happy tonight. So now that that's done, I can move on to the third thing. All I got to do is whack this back on. And the third thing I want to do is something very, very simple, but yet very important. All I want to do is run a scan on the car. It scans all the electronics and all the signals, all the sensors and signals, just to make sure that everything on the car is a-okay before the remap, because we don't want to remap it with issues on the car already. So I'm going to grab the computer and we're going to scan the car. Okay, so I've run a quick scan. I'm going to try and show you this on camera. I've got a few faults in the system. Some of them are just like radio connection faults. That's probably because I have an aftermarket radio installed, so that's nothing important. The rest of them are like heating mirror on the exterior. I know about that. I've got a faulty heating mirror, not a big deal. Thermal protection locking, that's basically when you push the locking button on your key too many times, that's what happens. So again, not a big deal. The only actual fault I have on here is for, try and focus that, is for the catalytic converter, which is obviously normal because I have this car decatted. So that's good, there's no major faults in the system. So now we're ready for that remap. And so for the last modification, I recommend you buy a set of vented fog light covers. Now you can get these for a lot of different cars, a lot of VAG cars like Audis, Skodas, Seats, and obviously Volkswagens. And basically what they do is they replace your current fog light cover, which is there, and as you can see that one's blocked up. And what this one does is it has a hole that goes through it, which allows more air to cool down the intercooler quicker and get more air into the air intake so that you can get better performance. So I think that's the last thing I'm going to install there. So guys, as I'm replacing this, I'm just going to tell you that these are actually a nightmare to find online. I ordered these 3 times from eBay, and every single time from 3 different sellers, they just kept sending me the wrong part. So I had to return the item 3 times. I finally realized that actually Euro car parts sell them. And basically that's just a lot easier because at least you can see the product before you buy it. So for the 4th time, I bought it from Euro car parts. It came today, which is why I didn't film this in the workshop, because I didn't have it then. It came a little bit later than normal. So I got it now. And all you do is this one screw, it clips out, and you replace it with the new one. clip it back in. It's a perfect fit. Get your screw again and just screw it back in. And there it is, guys. All it is basically it's open, so it allows air to pass through it. All it does is basically cool down your intercooler quicker, and it gets more air into your induction kit so that the engine can suck in more air and can have better performance. I don't know why they didn't do it from standard. Would have made sense really, but it is what it is. I'm just glad I finally got it in the end. Now we can get ready for that remap. And there it is, guys. There's everything you need to do to prepare for your remap. I know some of you are wondering why I haven't mentioned the cam belt. The cam belt was done just before I bought the car 1.5 years ago. I even received an invoice to prove that it was done. But just to be on the safe side and check for myself, I stripped the cam belt cover already, and there is definitely a brand new cam belt installed already. So lucky for me, I don't need to worry about that. What is going on, people? Welcome back to another video. Today is the day that we've all been waiting for. I'm at AMD tuning. The car's getting a stage 2 remap. It's going to be sick. Let's get straight into it. So like I said, guys, we are at AMD tuning to get the car a stage 2 remap. As we know, the car's already got a decat downpipe on there. It's already got an oversized ram air intake. It's got these new fog light cover vents that are open, so it allows more air to pass through and cool down the engine quicker and get more air into the air intake. I think that's everything I need for a stage 2 remap. I'm hoping to push about 270, 280 brake. I'm sure it's going to be a noticeable difference, and I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. Hopefully I can get a few videos from it on the inside so we can see it on the dyno. There it is. So back to today. Straight after I finished that video, they called me into the office and handed me this paper. Now this paper explains everything wrong with the GTI, and I'm about to show it to you. So let me quickly flip the camera and we'll see what's on the paper. So the first paper they've given me shows that cylinder 1 and cylinder 2 both have a misfire. However, the car doesn't actually fault anything in its memory. So they suspect that the misfire is actually coming from the injectors being old. They said that the injectors need to be removed, rebuilt, and have new seals fitted to them, and then that should stop the misfire. So they weren't going to remap it with the misfire. And then the second paper they handed me shows the boost pressure. So the red line is where the boost should be, and the green line is where it is at the moment. So as you can see, between 1 and 2, to nearly 3,000 RPM, it's leaking quite a lot of boost. And again, it doesn't log a fault in the memory. So they suspect that it's probably coming from the diverter valve, which I've never changed, and I've done some research. And to be fair, I probably should have known this before because they're quite a common fault on the GTIs. So it looks like I'm going to be buying a new diverter valve very soon. So that's both the faults with the car, and they do sound expensive, but we're going to try and fix these faults on the cheapest way possible, and I'm going to vlog it, so I'm going to show you guys how I do it. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you learned a lot. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe for more, and follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Now we live in gravy, so stripping like I live in gravy, yeah.